Over the past few years, the NBA has had more parity than ever. Part of that is the recent influx of young talent we've had enter the league of late. Many of these players are able to contribute right away and quickly turn around the fortunes of the franchises who draft them. This is the second part of my series where I assess some of this young talent and rank the 5 best players at each position that will be under 25 years old when the next season begins. This installment is the Wings, a group of players who can change games on both ends of the floor at various sizes. If you want to follow this series, don't hesitate to subscribe so you can check out the videos as soon as they're released. Like the guards, we had plenty of talented honorable mention candidates. Jalen Johnson thrived in his first year as a starter in Atlanta, showcasing his unique versatility on both ends of the floor. Don't be stunned if he makes another leap for the Hawks this upcoming year as well. Jaden McDaniels was named to an all-defensive team this past year, displaying the ability to defend various positions at a high level, though how he develops offensively could determine the Timberwolves' ultimate ceiling. Denny Avdia broke out this past year for the Wizards, where he showed improved shooting to go along with a well-rounded skill set. He was traded to the Trailblazers, where he figures to build on his success. Trey Murphy's a knockdown shooter who showed some flashes scoring off the dribble when called upon this past year. With the size and length to defend various positions, he should have a larger role for the Pelicans if they trade Brandon Ingram this upcoming season. Then my toughest omission was Keegan Murray. Murray's an elite shooter who is very effective scoring off handoffs within the Kings' offense. He also showed improvement on the defensive end in his second year. With all that being said, let's get to the list. Checking in at number 5, we have Brandon Miller. Miller was only a rookie for the Hornets last season, but the 21-year-old showed all the offensive flashes you would like to see in a player set to become a star wing. He's able to create his own shot off the dribble, is a dangerous shooter off the catch who can also shoot off movement, and can finish at the rim. With LaMelo Ball missing so much time, it also gave Miller more experience to play with the ball in his hands and learn from trial and error, which is beneficial for his long-term development. At 6'9", Miller is able to defend players of various sizes and has the length and movement ability that project very well on the defensive end. The areas Miller can improve are typical for a young wing. He can tighten his handle, which would help him eliminate some turnovers, and Miller will improve in other areas simply by having more reps against NBA defenses. The future is starting to look bright in Charlotte, and don't be stunned if Miller pushes for an All-Star selection as soon as this upcoming season. Checking in at number 4, we have Franz Wagner. Unless you're a Magic fan or an avid NBA League Pass viewer, you might not have seen much of Wagner besides some playoff action and the current Olympic Games, though Wagner has a very well-rounded skill set. At 6'10", Wagner's a capable ball handler who can create for himself and others, though he's very dangerous getting downhill, where he displays crafty finishing and impressive touch in the paint. On top of this, Wagner's capable of playing off the ball, where he's proven to be a savvy cutter. Turning 23 later this month, Wagner's also a versatile defender who was a huge reason for the Magic's success on that end. He has the length and movement to make things difficult for players of various sizes, while also showing nice anticipation rotating to alter shots or to jump passing lanes. So why is Wagner with this skill set only ranked 4th? That's due to his struggles shooting from 3. After shooting 36% from 3 across his first 2 NBA seasons, he shot just 28% from deep this past year, and teams were daring him to shoot by the end of it. The touch Wagner displays elsewhere suggests he's capable of bouncing back from 3, which would be a huge boost for a Magic team looking to build off last season's success. At number 3, we have Scotty Barnes, who did something that's pretty rare for a young player this past year. Despite taking on a bigger role in the Raptors' offense, he actually became more efficient on that end of the floor and ended up making his first All-Star game. At 6'7", Barnes has impressive court vision and displayed it in a variety of ways. Most notably, he ranked in the 80th percentile out of pick and roll, including passes last season. With a wide array of skills, Barnes can also take advantage of mismatches and converted over 73% of his shots around the rim. Barnes also took the most threes of his career this past year and responded well. He shot a career-best 34% from deep, which is encouraging as defenses having to respect his shot would allow him to attack closeouts, though at this point, he still struggles when attempting jumpers off the dribble. Barnes is also an impactful defender whose size and length allow him to frequently alter shots in passing lanes. After their midseason trades, the Raptors are now fully committed to building around Barnes. There's still room for Barnes' game to grow, so it will be interesting to see how the team builds around the 23-year-old's unique skill set. Some might have had Barnes ranked at 2, but I'm going with Jaylen Williams here. The 23-year-old is a major reason for the Thunder's meteoric rise and has an ideal skill set for this era of positionless basketball. Oh, and he's still getting better. Williams is an extremely efficient offensive player who last season shot a ridiculous 54% from the floor and over 42% from three. He's also a very dangerous pick and roll player where he's able to consistently create for himself and others. Williams also flashes some high end defensive play, where his mix of length, athleticism, and ability to process the game makes him a strong individual and team defender. There were times the Thunder could have used more of a scoring punch from Williams in the playoffs, but that was a great learning experience, and he should be better for it in the future. I'd expect him to grow in that regard, as this past regular season, he was incredibly effective as a lead facilitator when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was off the floor. So given the strides Williams made after his strong rookie season, it wouldn't be stunning if he made his first All-Star appearance in year 3. At number 1, my choice is Paolo Banchero. For someone who was the first overall pick in 2022 and won Rookie of the Year, Banchero hasn't received a ton of national attention. That's going to change this season. If a player like Jayson Tatum is considered a big wing, then Banchero's a jumbo one. Listed at 6'10", 250, Banchero has a very impressive offensive skill set for his size. He's able to create shots for himself and others, can punish mismatches, and this past year was a very dangerous shooter off the catch on shots from three that were considered unguarded. While Banchero's shooting percentages don't look great on paper, it's worth noting he was doing this facing a ton of double teams on a Magic team that lacked consistent floor spacing. He's also a very impressive passer, with advanced court vision who at times can make difficult passes look easy. Some advanced metrics such as EPM cited Banchero as a weaker link in the Magic's defense this past season, though he shows enough flashes on that end of the floor where I think it could be a result of the burden asked of him offensively. That same burden was also a factor in some of his turnover numbers this past postseason. Though one thing's for certain, get to know Banchero, as the 21-year-old has the makings of a perennial all-star. With that, we've reached the end of the list of my top 5 wings under 25. There were some really tough decisions with all the talented players, but I'm happy with the end result and can't wait to see how this list will look next year. If you had any thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the comments, and if you made it this far, don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to keep up with this series and my other posts in the future.